Hello, I'm Bob, and this is Pendragon, and we're really late, and it's totally not my fault. It's everyone else's fault in this room right now, including the audience. So, thanks for making us late, everyone.
Whatever, you guys. Not cool.
Yeah, indeed.
After all we do for you.
How could? Yeah. Okay.
How could you, audience?
Oh, weird. It's pulling the wrong thing. One sec. I'm just gonna refresh and see if it stop it. Nope, didn't stop it. All right, that's fine. Everything's fine. How are you? All right, let's do. While I'm fixing that, let's do some intros, folks. We'll start with Thomas, who's not Megan, playing Thomas this time. So.
Hello. I am not Megan. I am, in fact, Thomas playing Thomas. I will be Sir Edrich of House Winterbourne, Stoke, and Marshal of Salisbury. And it's great to be back after a long absence. I was not playing with these guys because I was in America. And I actually saw Liam, and it was great. But yes, that's me.
Awesome. And Mark.
Hi, I'm Mark, aka the Cat's Meow. I'm back again for another week. This time I'm going to be playing Sir Florence of Idmiston and the Baron of Axe. And I'm excited to get back with my shiny boy and shiny hair.
Indeed so. And last but not least, we have Liam.
Hi, everybody. I'm Liam. I am America. I'm gonna be here tonight, and I've got characters. Even you'll see who they are.
You'll be playing America.
Yeah.
I am America.
Really early version prototype.
America Chavez.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. We are going to dive in. I'd say where we left off, but that's not true at all because we haven't seen these Salisbury boys in some time, and things are changing. I had something else to report on. I forget what it was, but I'm sure it was really important at the time. So, in any rate, let's go ahead and play. Okay, so I realized we didn't maybe we did. Do you guys have a sense of whether or not you even did winter phase last we left off? I don't want to do the winter phase tonight, but
I do
we're gonna at least do your. Okay, well, you got to at least do your training then, since we're changing years. So
are we in 501 now? Is that right?
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Ooh.
Yep.
I have to age somebody a couple of times here.
Another year.
I am 37.
What year is it? And you can go as you go, Liam. Obviously, we'll get started as we go, but
37.
19 energetic.
Ooh.
Damn.
I mean, that kind of makes sense for
Super fucking energetic.
your character, honestly.
My heart grew 5% of the size that day, as I now care slightly more about the commoners.
Just slightly.
I am not more diplomatic. I am better at singing.
Okay.
Other people matter slightly more to me.
Okay, so I'm only missing a year on this man then. Okay, so
I
that's
do not
the.
Oh, sorry, you go.
Oh no worries.
Do.
I don't get to 21 battle.
Or 20.
Spear. I am slightly better at spear.
Oh, wow, your spear is not high.
I've been focusing on my sword. I've lanced like twice, and mostly it was to get them on the ground so I could stab them.
It's fine.
Heraldry or race diplomacy.
Why does Virgil have
what-
religion pagan 1? What did I do that made that happen? I don't remember.
It might have been like a
Stones.
random thing.
I think
Something.
so, but I just don't remember it.
It's my go. All right.
The standing stones, if I recall.
Oh, yeah. All right.
Loss goes up.
My fella is correct again.
Awesome.
Save
Vengeful
for his
goes up.
economics. Oh, wait, no, I didn't tick stuff. My bad.
Selfish goes up.
Quick, ticket.
Get it! Honest goes up.
Man,
Just does not go up.
life is hard. Life is hard!
Cruel goes up.
Uh-oh.
Critical
Critical does not go
heraldry.
up.
There you go. Add one, tick one.
Valorous, nope. Love of family. Ooh, love of
Hell
family goes up.
yes!
And I
Hell
get ticket.
yeah.
Look at
Hey,
that. look at
honor
that.
goes up.
Turning around in the latter quarter.
Courtesy, unlikely to go up. Yeah, it's worth it.
Worth a try.
All right, Virgil is
Heraldry.
upping horsemanship up to 15 and then hunting up to 5 is what his training is going towards.
Makes
That
sense.
doesn't do much for me, but I'm glad I get that. Holy shit!
Nice.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
I'm going to go get some water real fast.
All right. Do it.
No.
Now, should I get my diplomacy up to 15, my siege up to 9, or my intrigue up to 19, or my sword up to 27? Hey, nice.
That's a good question.
Holy shit, my lance goes up.
Nice. Okay, tell you what. First I'm gonna roll my aging thing. Which is what at this point? It's just. Hold on, I need to open the
Oh,
book.
you guys are at aging stuff, are ya?
Yeah.
Yes, I was last year because I was 36, and I am
Okay,
now 'cause I'm 37.
Give me 1 sec. We just did this recently. It was
Yep.
bad. We did it for Dallin.
Yeah. We're getting fucking old.
I'm in my prime. Actually, no, I'm 37, which means I'm 4 years away from death.
Okay. First thing you're gonna do for me, Tom, is to roll 2d6.
5 and a
We
5.
both
This
do this
determines
as well.
the number of attributes affected. Yeah. Yep. And that is 2 affected. For Mark, oh, buddy. Mark, you have 4 attributes affected.
Oh God.
Edrich, you have 2. So we'll start with Edrich. Roll a d6. You want 6.
I got 2.
Dex goes down by 1. Roll again.
Oh no. 5.
App goes down by 1.
No. Oh, I'm ugly now. I'm hideous. I'm at appearance 15.
It bell curves in the middle. 6 to 8 is 0. 5 and 9 are 1. And then it gets worse in
Yeah.
the extremes.
Yeah.
So, Mark, let's
Four.
hope you at least get 1 6. Okay. Size
So
goes
what's
down.
the size?
Yeah.
Size 12. Dex
Dex.
goes down.
Ooh, buddy. Size again.
Down.
Oh, that hurts.
And oh no, Florence!
No.
And you're like, all I wanted was to be beautiful still. Yeah.
Well, you
All I
know,
wanted was to be a dandy knight.
I do have my training point, and I can put it in appearance.
You
Yep.
can.
Yeah.
So Florence is going to invest in
He's wearing makeup now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mark just got.
He's
Florin,
doffing his
did
hat.
you hear all that, Liam? You might have had your headset on. I don't think
I
so.
did
though.
not. I was getting brownie and water.
They did their aging rolls. Edrich
Mhm.
got 2, and he lost Dex and what was the other one?
Appearance.
Appearance. Florence got 4. He lost 2
and he
size,
lost
Fucked up.
an app, and
one
what else?
dex
2 size and an app.
Holy shit,
Right?
and a
boy.
dex. And a dex. But yeah.
All right.
All right,
So
roll.
you're rolling
What's the aging roll?
2d6.
Oh. My damage.
Nothing.
Hell yes.
Perin,
Yeah, my
Perin takes
damage has gone down a level.
And then what's the
Ah.
6 and the 4?
I'm rolling 46.
Oh yeah, you guys you just started rolling now. This is your first year.
Yeah.
So you didn't have to roll again. You're good. Just once.
That's not for Virgil. The
Oh
second
no
one's
no
not for
no.
Virgil.
Oh yeah, but Virgil doesn't have to roll yet. I just assumed you were.
Oh,
doing
because
it.
he's
1 year
36.
behind.
Oh, 36, he would have to roll.
I would be rolling.
36
Yeah.
Did you-
35 and higher.
Did you guys already roll 1 year for Edrich and Florence?
Yeah.
then? Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
we
think so.
already did, yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
I lost nothing, fortunately.
all
I had
right.
to roll
I got
once and
lucky.
a six.
Roll a d6. Liam, you want a 6.
That's a 2.
Dex. Roll a d6.
That's a
Strength.
3. Oh, that's brutal.
Yep. Fucks you up.
Okay. We're okay. We're all right here.
All right. And then roll another d6 for yourself. Liam.
6.
Okay. 1 sec. Okay, 1 sec here.
Oh, should I increase my hate self passion to 8?
I mean,
I
that's
did
you.
motivate you.
That is Edrich.
1 sec. And then Liam, roll 3 more d6.
I'm concerned by this. All right. 6, a 1, and a 3.
Okay, 1 sec.
Bob, you're scaring me. You're scaring me.
I mean, those look like glory.
I hope so.
Alternatively, you took 300 damage.
Oh, nice.
Pain sound. Major.
Okay. Let's see
Very nice.
here.
Very nice.
So we can dive in now. Sorry for that. I totally forgot we had to do that. Well, that's what happens when you take a break. Okay, let's dive in then. All right. So I don't think there's anything really. We're starting so early in the year. There wouldn't be much to update on with these characters. So there is a gathering. It's actually held at Winterbourne Stoke, hosted by Sir Edrich. But the request for joining said gathering comes by way of the Queen of Grain. We're gonna zoom in first on Florence. Are you taking the invite? Are you join in?
No, I think yes, he's gonna go.
Yeah. Okay.
Just completely fuck your plans up.
What are you saying in
Okay.
Cornwall about your, or are you not?
I think Florence would just say he has alternative business he must attend to, but he wouldn't divulge any more than that. That's really pressed.
Who are you saying that to?
The king.
Okay.
Florence is very much of the idea. He thinks he's proven himself with everything he's done.
Okay.
And we'll see if the king believes that to be true.
I'm gonna roll something here.
Virgil's sitting there doing this.
Yeah. He says, Sir Florence, this is Idris talking, by the way. He says, I hope that after all the pardoning that's been done and your vows to Cornwall, that matters of past loyalties, be they alive or dead, would not be forgotten, or would be replaced.
I think with that, Florence kind of straightened for a moment. You are not wrong in your assessment, my liege. My oaths to you will always stand. But this is a personal matter, one that I must attend to. It does not change where my loyalties truly lie, and that I will be here for whatever it is you next require of me. But I think that my achievements and loyalty so far will show that I do not plan to abandon my oaths to anyone, especially you, my king. And I would think that would be a good trait in a knight to have.
Test courtesy.
Perhaps I'm just old-fashioned that way. Courtesy success.
He nods. Then I'll hold you to it. All right. Next things next. Let's see here. We're going to zoom in on the event at Winterbourne, Stoke. So this will be kind of, will follow like a zoom in as Sir Florence kind of goes to ready himself to leave. We can see that it's wintertime. We can see snow on the ground still. And when the camera pans away and pans back in on Winterbourne Stoke, we can see that the snow is just starting to melt. Looks like the grass and grounds are still hard and frozen, but nevertheless, a little bit of green is seen underneath. And Florence, why don't you give me... Actually, no, we're not going to do that. You arrive, you see a number of horses outside, about half a dozen maybe. What do you want to do? We're going to stay in on your
Alright.
perspective.
I think we'd see Florence coming down off his horse. And for probably the first time we've ever seen age truly catching up with him, as he kind of winces as he lands on the ground, probably more heavily than he intended, as he takes off from his horse. What looks to be a finely crafted cane that he's had made due to his recent injuries that seem to have lasted longer than he thought they would. As he would bring his horse in to probably whatever stable master or stable boy is there. He would offer up his horse and say, "Is the lord of the house in?"
Of course, sir. Sir Florence, yes?
Indeed, yes.
This way, this way. As you get brought in through the manor, you're led to a room where you can hear a number of voices. And as you enter the room, you see Edrich, Oslav, I said. Cynstenian, and Queen Igraine. There's one other figure present, and that is, one sec. Where is he? Give me one sec, guys. Cadfile.
Hey.
Yay!
What a little guy.
They kind of, everyone's talking, but as Florence enters, I imagine no one's quick to speak. Lady Igraine stands and smiles and says, "Ah, Sir Florence, you were able to make it."
Of course. I'm not going to let something such as a lame leg stop me from coming here. He just kind of taps upon his leg with his cane.
Edrich inclines his head, and it's plain to see that age has affected him as well, though perhaps a little less heavily. And he smiles and says, "It does the heart good to see you, Sir Florence. And I'm glad you could pull yourself away from Cornwall to join us here."
Of course. I wouldn't miss this for the world. Plus, I have oaths to keep.
Quite so. Come, join us.
So at this point, Igraine kind of waits till everyone's seated and there's probably some kind of food. We'll say it's, what's the best out of those? Cold meat slices and ginger sauce? Sure, let's say it's that.
I mean, that's tasty. I'd eat that.
That's good. I eat that.
Tasty.
All right.
I mean, roasted seal, I mean, I can kind of see it, but also it feels like it would be very fatty and blubbery.
That's fair.
That's fucked up. It's fucked up
Yeah.
of you to say.
I, for one, love roasted seal.
All the
I'm
times I
quaking
do.
in my baby seal leather shoes.
My baby seal leather boots.
All right. So at this point, after everyone's kind of seated and relaxed a bit, Lady Igraine says, "Upon the morrow, we'll ride to the Abbey. That's where Lady Morgan resides, and we'll be meeting with the Northern Army, or at least the contingent they sent down from Gore."
You have told me some of it, but just to recap. What is the purpose of their visit here? Is it merely a family reunion, or are there other diplomatic overtures they wish to bring to us?
Promises were made by my late husband, the king, that Morgan should be wed, the king of Gore, Uriens. She is of age, and so these matters must be dealt with. It is my hope that we can find peace through this marriage with the North, and perhaps Perhaps the future will be far better than now.
That is a grand hope, and one that we can pray for. We can provide security, and of course, the Abbey would be neutral ground. But we didn't get as far as we did, nor live as long by trusting blindly in foreign kings. We'll ensure that no legerdemain takes place.
Indeed, faith will guide us, but rationale will keep things in check.
Okay. Is there
It is
anything?
good to see that with a stroke. Oh, sorry, you go.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
It is good to see with a stroke of a pen and a joining of bloodlines that peace can be arranged. This is a neat arrangement for everyone involved, and we can only hope that Lady Morgan finds peace and love, in much the same way as the nation will.
She nods to that, and that's definitely there's signs of like hesitation and anxiousness at the mention of Morgan finding peace and love through this. It's clear that it weighs on her mind. If there is nothing else, guys, in this moment, then we'll proceed to the next morning after a night of feasting and relaxing.
Honestly, I'm very glad that Winterbourne Stoke can host a feast.
Right?
That's great.
Exactly. Technically, anyone can, in a manner. Yep. Just cost you Librum. So at this point, on the next morning, and it's been a while since we've really looked at Salisbury. Let's do that. Okay. So, as you all might recall, Winterbourne Stoke is here, and Amesbury Abbey is here. So not very far away.
We're good neighbors.
Yeah, indeed.
Durnford's a better neighbor. Just saying.
Right?
You take that back.
Okay.
What a lovely day. Take that back, you bastard.
How dare you? Okay.
It was civil war.
All right. So we're gonna dive in at that point with you guys riding. The crew gets ready to travel out. Edrich and Cynstenian's gonna join you, even against your protest, and in fact, Oslaf insists. So, in addition to that, Igraine and Cadfile, and then you, Florence. Is there any arrangements or special anything you want to do before we move forward to Amesbury Abbey?
Edrich questions the wisdom of every member of House Winterbourne Stoke traveling in one place, but he doesn't mind, especially if they're insistent. But he would like to speak with Florence about politics.
All right, let's zoom in on that scene. We haven't seen some player and play. You know what? I was thinking about this. The Knights of the Sword don't talk as much through Anarchy, right? Because they're kind of everywhere.
No.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah. They're kind of all in the vignette stages. So.
We're trying to survive, man. We don't got time to talk.
We're doing our best. I ain't got time to bleed. So, Florence, I wanted to ask you a few questions about matters. Well, we are neighbors now, or soon to be so. I wondered how your relationship with King Idris progressed.
He seems to think well of me. For the most part, I think well of him too. He's proved himself honorable. And, a noble candidate. For as many as there are.
Indeed so. There are as many as there are self-proclaimed kings, but I suppose that's the point.
It's true.
I was pleased that out of the 3 places he could have attacked, he did not attack Salisbury. But I do note that that does leave him with 2 places to expand. One of them being us.
A land ruled over a supposed magician king. Another a land that a recent siege has not been positive with. However, I doubt that he will move on from his current target. We'll have to see. I cannot discount that he would make plans for, well, the lands of Salisbury. His son seemed quite interested in it as a possible target. I say the land is rather ripe for the taking, if I might be so honest.
Yeah.
Much to gain, not a lot to lose.
Unfortunate indeed that assessment is correct, but one that I aim to turn on its head. Salisbury is a proud land with many warriors, and so long as they are whipped into shape, the ambitions of this Idris will fall to ashes in his mouth. So long, of course, as we can be forewarned if he does plan on warring.
I cannot speak to that exactly. After all, I am a loyal servant of His Highness.
And I would not
But who
ask
knows?
anyone to betray the oaths that they keep.
Of course. But who knows how the winds blow, and what plays be told at each sunrise.
Awareness rolls,
See.
both of you.
Oh, shit.
How aware am I? I am.
Decently. Not
That
very
makes sense
decently.
for Florence. Edrich,
Absolutely.
you notice a rider as you're riding along the road. You can see like Stonehenge in the distance, just north of you. You see a rider riding from it solo. They don't look like they're charging or anything, but they are definitely riding to intercept, for lack of a better term, your entourage.
A black rider. An ill wind carries it. But I suppose we must greet them. Edric will dig his heels into his horse ever so slightly and canter up a little bit so that he can intercept the interception. And he will raise a gauntleted fist and go, "Oh there!"
Give me a recognize roll.
I succeed.
As you get closer, the sun's kind of in your eyes this time of morning. But is that correct? We'll assume it's right. Yeah, actually it would
Yeah,
be.
east.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like that made sense to me in my brain. Okay. But as you get a little bit closer, you see a very old friend.
Come now, Edrich. Is that any way to treat an old friend of yours?
Indeed. You have my apologies. I'm somewhat on edge. There are many things at stake, but it is good to see you. Please come, join our convoy if you'd like. How have the years treated you?
Well enough. That's actually why I'm here. I got word that you were traveling northward, and that your entire family was more or less with you, so I figured paranoid Edrich would probably be shitting himself. So I'm here to lend an extra hand.
The way that was phrased aside, you are definitely correct. And I'm very grateful for the assistance. The Northern Kingdoms and us have had a turbulent relationship, so any extra hand, particularly that where my family and my dearest wife are involved, is welcome indeed.
All right.
Sorry, you go.
There's a moment where Igraine leans into Florence and says, "Is that Sir Perin?"
Kind of looks over and goes, I'm unsure. Last time I remember, Sir Perin was dead. Huh. What strangeness we run into with that. He shares a grin with her.
He's pretty much coming from the direction of Stonehenge too, isn't he?
Yeah. She says, just keep an eye on Morgan for me, please.
Of course.
All right. With that, though, she rides forward a little bit and smiles and says, "Sir Perin, such a pleasant surprise."
I'm surprised you recognize me, Lady Igraine. It's been some time. I forgive. Hopefully you'll forgive the difference the years have treated me in appearance and demeanor.
Battle does very strange things to us, it seems.
Among
Still,
other
I'm
things.
glad to hear that you're alive and well.
Aye. There have been days where I have not felt the same, but today it's a good day, and I ride with you as escort.
I accept your offer. She looks to Florence and Edrich like, I should be accepting that offer, right? Like, she didn't say that, but she just kind of looks to you both,
Yeah.
right? And then she nods.
The winds are fair.
Then let us ride to meet... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, so at which point, Florence would ride up and go, "Well, there. Do my eyes deceive me? Or do I see a spirit that has crawled its way back to our realm?"
A ghost, a revenant. Come here to hunt you, Florence.
Haunt me? Whatever for? I've been nothing but the most noblest and most righteous of men, if not in the entirety of Logres.
Ah, but the vengeance of time catches up to us all, does it not?
That is true. That is true. Good to see you, old friend.
It's good to see you too. Now, I suppose that all three of us are back together, even if it's just temporarily. Hopefully we can kick Edrich out of his sour mood. Nothing can stop us, and thus, he might be able to relax on this trip and enjoy himself.
On the contrary, I think I'm in a wonderful mood. The best I've felt in quite some time.
Sounds like a time for a drink. You know, once we arrive in a place that's not the middle of nowhere.
And of course, as long as the drinks have been checked for poison.
Ugh. There's just like a slight like tensing and untensing of Perin's shoulder muscles.
I feel like that happens to everybody, given all the trauma that happened. Everyone's like, ugh. Yeah. So
yeah, life sucks.
None of you guys drank the Kool-Aid.
yeah.
I drank the Kool-Aid. We're not fun.
Okay, just checking out one more thing. Okay, couple of other things just to give you guys the news, because we're kind of doing this in a different way. There is war happening in Gales. It seems that King Nanteleod has conquered his former ruler in Estragales, and they are united under one banner, though Estragales maintains a petty king, King Derek, as you remember him, his brother Sir Locke. They were left in place rather than being murdered or, taken hostage.
Good for them.
They are now readying for war with mountain men, calling themselves the Three Cadlus, descendants of a once very monstrous, or monstrous, a very powerful warlord in the Gales region, of which I forget his name.
Infamous.
Yeah.
Might be the word.
No, he's wasn't infamous. He was actually probably depends on Canada. Is that the name of it? He was like a historical figure, right? Yeah,
Canada.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Did I do it?
Great
Is that right?
Lord Canada.
Canada. It's probably spelled different.
Connecticut.
Yes, Cunedda. Anyways, they claim strong leadership, strong right to rule, and they actually threaten King Pelinor's land of Norgales. They aim to conquer it. But it seems that Nanteleod and some of his allies are responding in turn and will be marching north. It seems that Gales is now going to war with itself.
Tell you
were
what
kinda-
would help Pelinor if he weren't on a damn fool quest out in the middle of nowhere.
That's fair. Okay, that's about it. Cornwall is strangely quiet thus far. It seems they might even take a year to reassess their situation.
They're chilling.
Yeah. This is like, in Crusader Kings where you had the fatigue bar too low because you've been warring nonstop, so you need to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's zoom back in on the story we're actually telling instead. How's that? All right. So as you ride towards Amesbury Abbey, I will get your choice of recognize or heraldry rolls because there are a whole lot of horse riders here, a whole lot of knights.
Success on recognize.
Eldry, success.
Dude, I was like, ooh, recognize is only at 11. That's not that good. And then I'm like, what's heraldry at? Oh, 3? Yeah, no. Oh, I'm the wrong man. There we go. Failed.
You used to be one of the best fighters and the primary dandy knight, and then we both had to fill in that role.
Okay.
I forgot to roll my ticks for Perin, so I'm gonna do that real fast while everybody's doing stuff.
Do those. Let's see here. We're gonna give you guys the ones that are obvious. You see the banners of Brassius here. Florence. You see
I'm upset at him.
You see the banners of Sir Cador, the mercenary knight from that you guys had identified previously as Igraine's family, kin. This guy.
Glad to see him alive. Last time I saw him was on the battlefield.
Yep.
Oh, this will be
Sword
awkward.
of Victory went up.
Yeah, I love that.
Let's see. Is there anything else worth noting here? I can't find Brassius, otherwise I would show you his token too. I'll get that fixed for later. Oh, I know. He's probably in the anywhere portion.
He took the midnight train.
Got him. There we go. There's Brassius. Okay. In addition to those banners, we got a recognize from Edrich. You recognize, of course, the coat of arms and face, though he looks a bit older and a bit more trim. As far as grooming goes, you recognize King Uriens, and beside him, a retinue of knights, quite large, in fact. And then Mark, you got a heraldry success, right?
Yep.
Okay. You recognize the banners of King Nantris though he's not here, or at least you're not sure he's here, but his banners are. And amongst the crowd is Lady Morgan.
Edric's nose kind of twitches as he sees the Lady Morgan.
She'll step forward, and she, as you guys ride in, she looks and says, "Mother," and she looks to Florence and says, "Sir Florence." She looks to Perin and she tilts her head to the side.
Hello, my lady. It's good to see you again.
Quite so. She looks confused and she nods and says, "I'm glad to see that you are with us."
Officially, I'm not. But for long as the Black Dog is present, you have his blade and his shield. That's my swear. I swear that.
I see. And then she looks to Edrich.
Edrich
No.
tilts his head.
I'm gonna
much
test
as she
something else
did.
here. Yeah.
Ruh-roh, Raggy.
Snaps her fingers and Edrich explodes.
She so could, and it's kind of cool, honestly.
Mhm.
Sir Edrich?
Lady Morgan.
She barely, she glances. It's very obvious that she doesn't want to talk to him. She barely looks him in the eye. She forces herself to for a moment, gives a quarter of a second smile, and then it fades, and she nods her head and walks in the other direction.
Anybody who wants to pay attention to Edric's expression in that moment, he looks oddly pleased that she doesn't want anything to do with him. Pleased almost of her not being able to stand him, if that makes sense. But he barely shows any of that as he nods, the courtesy done.
I wouldn't want anything to do with myself either.
Exactly. Myself as a prick.
Love it. Okay. Is there anyone wants to interact with or talk to out of this crew before? It looks like people are kind of preparing for a long trip, right?
Yeah.
So
Are any
I
of
think-
Morgan's sisters here? Out of
they're
curiosity?
not here. No. You would imagine they didn't make the travel down, but they're likely to be for certain at the wedding, right? Like that would be like a no-brainer.
Okay.
Yeah.
There is somebody there I probably need to talk to at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Probably.
I mean, the last time you saw her sister, you were going at breakneck speed on a donkey into the forest, never to return. I think Edrich, he might be tempted to speak to King Uriens, but mostly his priority is ensuring that none of these dildos have any ulterior motives or assassins lurking in the wings. So he might just redouble security, and he might speak to the dignitaries if necessary. Mostly he'll leave that to the queen.
As you guys are kind of like looking in that direction, a rider with the same banner as Uriens rides forward. He looks like he's maybe in his early 20s. Dark hair, a bit of a scowl on his face, and it doesn't seem directed at you. It seems kind of to rest that way.
I understand.
He looks to. I'm just gonna give him a test here. course not. Oh, not 114. That would be 14. Okay, so he looks and he says, "You are Sir Florence, a knight of the sword."
Florence kind of looks over him and goes, "Indeed, I am Lord Florence, Baron of the Axe." A pleasure, I presume. Sir
Badgamagus. I'm Uriens' nephew.
Ah, then it is indeed a pleasure to meet you.
He looks over. I'm going to give him a test on recognize for Edrich. Oh, okay. So apparently, and then he fails the one on Perin because of the -5. Otherwise, he would have got the minus.
Oh.
He would have got it if Perin looks like Perin. So
I prefer him not looking at me, so.
exactly, that's what I mean. But yeah, just noting. He kind of glosses over Perin, and then he goes, "Oh," he shields his eyes, but he's like, "I'm sorry, Sir Edrich. Congratulations on your position as marshal.
You have my thanks.
Treating you well."
I believe it is, and it's a pleasure to meet you, Badgamagus. Now, I must ask, and I do apologize, is there a particular reason you approached us, or was it merely to introduce yourself? In which case, it is a pleasure.
Well, we have met the other escorts from Logres. I suppose I wanted to introduce myself to the Queen's personal escorts. And on the way over, I recognized Sir Florence's banner. He is, after all, quite famous throughout the land.
And well deserved.
Out of care.
Quite famous.
Yeah, you are at famous level, right, Florence? And I think Edith,
Yeah.
are you there too now?
I'm at 8,000.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, so with that, he will nod and say, well, then I look forward to riding with you all.
And likewise.
Indeed. Same to you.
Perin does not say anything.
If you will permit me a somewhat indiscreet is probably the wrong word. What is the mood like of your convoy? A marriage is, after all, being sought from your uncle. How is the contingent faring after a march from the northern kingdoms down to our humble home?
We opted to travel by way of Pendragon, and well, I'm glad we made it on time. We were certain we lost time, weeks in fact, as we went through that forest.
I trust that we will not be taking that route as we move elsewhere.
I think it would be more wise to travel through Lindsay, though he hesitates and he's like, if the rumors are true that Duke Corneus is returned, then I'm not sure he should like a northern army passing through. Either way.
We shall cross that bridge, the literal one, in fact, when we come to it. But the forests here are best avoided.
I suppose we could always travel off-road from there when we're further north. I guess we'll have to decide.
Weather permitting. And, of course, the morale of the group.
All right. And with that, he'll nod and say, I should return. Pleasure to meet you. Or he says, an honor to meet you. actually, is what he would say. And then he'll nod in and start riding off the other direction.
Well, I suppose we could have worse options at hand.
I know it was never quite your reason for doing things. Does it not hurt even a little for that glory and the renown that you earned to now be a burden, if anything else? To be a sign of
No.
what came before?
No. In many ways, Perin did die back in the place where he once was. Now, the only struggle I have with it is the inconvenience of... Well, it is admittedly somewhat difficult to... What's the word? It's harder to get things done when people don't know who you are. That's all.
A reputation is a weapon and a shield both. But you are a remarkable person, Sir Perin. I'm certain that you'll find some way to earn that fear and respect back.
You'd be surprised at what I've already been able to accomplish. But I'll admit, it would have been nice to have a little bit more, sway.
Well, here's to tomorrow then.
All right. So the entourage is readying to move north. I'm gonna just check in real quick. You guys, let me know if there's anyone you want to talk to. Any little vignettes on the road. Otherwise, we're gonna be moving from complication to complication as we typically do.
Yeah.
So
Good to go.
Fair enough.
Complications.
I got one, which is that Florence would say his proper hellos to Lady Morgan.
okay, we can do that now. We can assume too this is on the road, so you're starting your journey.
Yeah. I think with that.
Yeah, she's like riding in the center. She's got for like direct like honor guard, Uriens and Badgamagus ride like in front of her, right? And then because this isn't, they aren't wed, it isn't proper for them to ride together, etc. And then Cawdor and Brassius ride as Queen Igraine's honor guard. So.
I think in that case, we probably just see Florence like sidle up between one of the honor guards and her, just kind of making them make way for him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that'd be fun. Is it Cawdor? Do you care? You probably would be oblivious. If I know Florence, you probably didn't even pick.
I'd probably be oblivious to it.
Oh yeah, it's Cawdor, of course, the guy you just fought. So he glares at you as you kind of ride by, but you don't notice. He'll remember that it's like a little thing that pops up on the screen.
Sir Cawdor will remember this.
Yeah. Okay, so Morgan looks over at you.
Well, Lady Morgan, if I might say, you've truly grown into someone wonderful. I mean, last I saw you, you were still but a babe. And here you are now. Fine young woman.
I suppose. That is the role I'm to play.
Oh, that is fair enough. I guess we all play roles to an extent.
Like you, the honorable knight.
Yes, the honorable knight. Though in other places I play the Lord Baron. Great and noble, yet often finding himself crossing swords with people who were once friends. He says with no irony next to Sir Cador. That's just the way of things, I suppose. It happens with age.
I'm sorry
just
about
wanted to
earlier.
say-
Every time I see Edrich, I see my father.
That is understandable. To be honest, I was not sure your reaction when you would have seen me as well. I know it is difficult with everything that happened.
My sister
I wish
assured
there
me
were-
that you aim to fulfill your oath. The one I remember so little of.
Yes. Perhaps it is not something you remember well, but it is something that is forever bound to my spirit and my honor. And it's something I plan to keep. And if possible, ensure that it is kept even beyond my existence upon Logres.
I heard rumors that you fight for Cornwall now. That my father's
Indeed.
enemy.
Indeed. It is difficult in this trying time for us all. It's a time of chaos and strange alliances and loyalties. But what
Did
you
you-
say is true.
Did you fight last year in Dorset?
Indeed I did.
I heard that
It
they
was...
fended off the army. They remained free.
Oh, they certainly did. They did a fantastic job, in honesty. Even when I made it past the wall, I nearly found myself perishing simply from... well... It was quite a time. But they fought with honor. And in honesty, I cannot blame them for defending their home. To do so would be entirely hypocritical for all that I've done.
She looks
And
a
I
little.
suppose in the end, do the duty of a knight. Play the role, as it were.
Might I ask you a personal favor?
Anything.
Should the war in Dorset continue, should you be there and hear of a captive by the name of Achelan, would you spare him? I will be a queen soon. I would be willing to pay the ransom.
If it is your wish, my lady, I will ensure, to the best of my ability, that he is returned safely. Though I wouldn't say no to a decent ransom.
She looks at you and she says, "My thanks."
Think nothing of it, my lady. It is my honor.
All right, cool, guys. With that, we're going to walk away from that scene. Thomas and Liam, I want a D100 from each of you. Let's see what your journey's like
no.
on the way to... we're
Every
doing
time you ask me of this, something bad happens. That's a 40, sir.
Oh, you're muted.
73 for me.
Yeah.
I am?
No. Thomas was. Yeah. All good.
Come on, Thomas. Get your head in
Hey.
the fucking game.
Hey!
We're going to do this
You're
for
so
the
mean to
entourage.
me.
As we go, let's see. Oh, I'm not showing this on the screen, or to you guys. A game right here. Woo! Okay.
Woo!
With this amazing production value and all of the money we're getting from our sponsors.
You know, I'd say that we've at least stopped muting ourselves on losing the GM in scenes, but let's be honest, there's still games where that happens, and I don't want to jinx myself.
We're human, mostly.
Okay.
What do you mean technology is easily finicky and hard to use?
You're fucking nuts, man. You're nuts.
All right, folks. So you make it as far. Let's go through the spots where you will travel. So you ride from Salisbury to Levcamagus, Levcamagus to Silchester, Silchester to Staines, Staines to actually London, just to make sure that there's a stop, proper stop.
I don't like it here. We're surrounded by Saxons.
On your way into the
What else
city,
new?
there is something. Actually, this will be on your way out of the city, heading on the road north. Awareness test, all three of you.
I love testing awareness.
It really is. Oh, I remember London. I haven't been here in 10 years.
Whoop.
Nope.
All right. Once again, Thomas is carrying us.
I'm doing my best. I'm so sorry.
Edrich, on your way out as the entourage is moving by, you hear lots of discussion, and a couple of the northern knights are like, "There it is, right there, the sword." And one of them says, "Do you think Uriens would notice if we snuck away and tried to pull it free?" And the other knight laughs and says, "Don't bother, I tried last night." And he's like, "I can barely move my back this morning." Yeah, you look over, Edrich, and I think this is the first time you've seen the sword in the stone.
It is, I think. And Edrich tilts his head, looking at the sword, looking in the stone. It's certainly not a normal sword, even to like normal people, right? Let alone people who have been around magic swords specifically.
True.
I think Edrich tilts his head regarding it, with an expression of awe would be the closest word to it. And he does look around before a smile comes to his face. And he says, "Sir Perin, Sir Florence, look,
Aye.
a magic sword."
Yes.
Seven goes,
What of it?
all I see is a rusty blade buried in a stone.
You can't honestly tell me you aren't tempted to go over and try your hand.
Not particularly. I mean, I've heard what it's meant to do, and I know for certain that I am not the one who will pull that sword.
Quite so. It is a queer thing indeed to know some skeins of destiny, and to know that one's name is not written upon it.
I suppose
But-
that's why we have to write our own names.
Indeed so. I think Edrich regards it for a little while longer. But I think Edrich knows, somewhere deep down in his core, he is not going to get anything from touching and pulling it out. Or rather, he won't be able to pull it out.
And yet, I need to test something, I think.
That's fair.
I don't know what this would be.
Would it
Energetic. I think energetic versus prudent. I think is what I'm gonna go with here.
Mm-hmm. Hmm?
Okay.
Hmm?
Okay. I think as just as Edrich is about to like walk away, Perin's gonna like elbow him and be like, "Would be fun to watch, though."
Watching who? Flipping
And
and falling, cracking one's head upon a rock doesn't seem the most entertaining thing, unless, of course, it were to happen to certain people in this convoy. But that's besides the point.
you have issues, Edrich. Florence. And Gary kind of walks up and he goes, "Florence, do you know the rumor about that sword?"
I mean, I've heard stories, yes.
Mm-hmm. Well, I spent a good deal of time with the one who put it there, and he told me that that sword is not exactly the trick that everyone thinks it is. That there's actually a way to get it free a little bit early, if you know what I mean.
We really have not spent a lot of time with each other, have we, Sir Perin?
You'd be surprised at the things that I know, Florence. After all,
And you'll be surprised at the things I do.
what's taken from that stone isn't going to grant someone the King of England. King of Britain, certainly not. But it is a mighty prize worth having, and someone who is worthy can claim it.
I'm sure one day they will.
You
But
know,
we've also seen what happens to those who pull swords, who are not entirely worthy of them. No?
well, that assumes that you'd be able to pull it in the first place.
Perhaps. But I've never really been a swordsman myself. Now, if it was a spear, maybe I'd give it a good go.
If I see Merlin again, I'll talk to him about it.
Somewhere during
well.
this conversation, quiet as a shadow, Edrich has just moseyed up. And because I'm higher arbitrary than I am just, I think I would like to give it a go.
Yeah, yes.
All right. Roll me a d20.
4.
Okay. It doesn't budge, not even a little. But there's a crowd that stands around as you dismount your horse, and they cheer you on as you try. There's like a queue of knights starting to gather, not from your entourage, but just from other places, it seems. It seems this is a popular event.
I think as we're also riding away, Florence would lean into Sir Perin and go, "And between you and me, I don't think pulling weapons from stones is a great way to choose governments."
Oh man, what episode are we on? How long did it take us? how long did it take us? We
Not
made it this
long
long.
Specifically 21 years, yeah. Before we had a direct in-character Monty Python reference. But Edrich, everyone's riding away, continuing on. Is that correct? Edrich, you get 100 glory for trying to pull the sword free.
I think as he pulls it out, he's not surprised at all. Not even a little bit disappointed. And he does say, "I suppose that's to be expected. A marshal's lot is one that I will be contented with, I think." And then he will continue onwards. I will record the glory.
Okay.
I think we gotta kill this guy. It's too close.
What did I do? What did I do?
I think we gotta reach aside this guy. Let me tell you.
I took the sword.
Okay.
But yes, continue onwards.
You reach Hartsford, and then there's a thought to travel west. It's a grim thought. It will take you through St. Albans.
Ooh.
I do
Really
not
is a
fear the
greatest
dead.
hits tour.
Incidentally, Perin.
There, by the way, I'd given this update before because we were in the other land, but just so you're aware, Thomas, I think you were, the Angles have landed upon the island and conquered.
Yep.
Yeah, perfect. So the reason that the standard road north is passes through Essex, and while the knights might feel comfortable passing through Essex on the road, it would be a mistake to ride a retinue full of
Noble women.
non-combatants and noble women, people worth ransom, no less, right? Like you're just handing them a very dangerous proposition. The alternative is St. Albans and then through the forest.
How do I feel about the forest? Is this forest a particularly good one or a bad one? Is this one that I would be happy leading my family and entourage through, or?
This is the Forest Sauvage.
The Forest Sauvage is savage, but acceptable for the most part. Essex is dangerous, even if we just kind of
Perin-
hoof it.
Perin might have some thoughts on the Sauvage.
Perin.
There's when it's mentioned, when it's brought up that might be the way that we go, I think Perin very noticeably tenses up, and he goes, there's not long ago I was traveling with Merlin, and there were things that were actively hunting us through Sauvage. Merlin was as cryptic as ever, so I'm not sure what exactly reigns there, but whatever it is hostile, and it specifically doesn't like us.
Do you believe it to be more or less dangerous than traveling through the lands of the Saxons and the Angles?
I can't say, but I do know a great many men who have tried to take shortcuts through magical forests and ended up at their locations about 4 years too early or 4 years too late.
Looking at it from the perspective of a strategist, those in Essex, are they fighting with the Angles to their north?
They are kind of, yeah. They're in contentions with their allies to the north. They're also in sort of a truce, a ceasefire with Huntland and Heartland. Yeah. Is that the right names? Am I get that right?
I think so. With that in mind, does it seem like a viable option to move around the borders of Essex, like following the road, knowing that they'd mostly have concentrated to their northeastern border? Or would that be impossible to say?
I don't think you have enough intel for that, and the road doesn't go quite, there's quite a big gap between the border and the road. However, I think there's a risk there for sure. And I think this is what the overall retinue is debating. What route to take. As noted, they came from Bedegrain on the way down, and they still had to pass through forest.
My personal vote is to travel via the Forest Sauvage through St. Albans. However, I would not object to moving north up of Essex. Having the roads would be easier on the wagons, rather than the growth of the forest that has overtaken these lands.
I, for one, would think it would be best to give Essex a wide berth. Best not to tempt fate.
It's your call, Edrich. I'll back you up either way.
You have seen these creatures. Can they be fought?
Well, Merlin was running from them. but he was in a hurry. Maybe they'll speak my language. They're black dogs, I'm black dogs. We'll figure something out.
I am content that whatever the High Druid runs from, we can face.
I
After
will
all, we
note
did
too,
have
you've got
Rhodri.
about 150 men in escort versus traveling with just the three of you. So there is that part too.
Yeah. Traveling through the forest would most likely be safer, but not easier, right? Because we've got like, how are the non-combatants traveling? Are they traveling in like wagons, or are they?
No,
on
they're riding
horseback?
horse. They're riding round sea. Yeah.
Through the Forest Sauvage, let us keep a protective detail around the non-combatants. Those of us in the head of the detail, those of us who can fight the best, going forward, while allowing us lines to travel back. It will be hard riding through the forest, thick as it is, but if there are bandits, no matter who they are, they will be turned away by the sound of 100 suits of chainmail clinking.
One could hope.
And if there is something more esoteric, then we shall see what they are made of.
You haven't changed it a bit, have you?
I'm very glad to hear it.
Well,
All right.
let's try it. Worst that can happen is we'll miss the wedding by a couple of years.
Yes.
All right.
Well, both the bride and groom are here, so I'm not too worried.
Under
All
the
we need to
Knights,
do is find a priest.
under the advisement of the Knights of the Sword, the Queen of Grain will give the command to ride to St. Albans and into the forest from there. All right. It begins.
As we enter, we are immediately exploded.
Yes, indeed.
As to be expected.
Cool. Okay.
It's just food poisoning.
That's fair. Why don't we zoom in a little bit on Albans? So you can see that there's been a lot of work on the place since it was last sieged. It looks more like the St. Albans you remember it being before it was war-torn. It seems the monks have done an awful good job at restoring the place. Is there anything anyone wants to test in particular? You know, not calling out any particular names or anything, but
Yeah, Liam.
Let me see what I got here. Oh, folklore 3? No, fairy lore 2. Let's do it. Yeah, we're fine.
okay. All right, and then go ahead, Thomas.
I don't think Edrich would be overly married to the idea of staying close to St. Albans. There's no real reason for him to stop. All of the dead that he would pay respect to have already come back to life, or he's already paid respect at their graves.
Okay. Understood. All right, so we are going to we watch as you guys all start to travel through the Forest Sauvage. There's lots of discussion. They're looking for a hunter from Logres to be the guide. And that comes to Brastius, Cawdor, or one of you three.
Oh, please God, don't let it be me. I've got a hunting of 5.
Are any of the three of you famous in hunting?
Not even close.
I have a 5 in hunting.
Okay. Do any of you have a 10 or above in hunting?
Nope. I think the highest we have is 5.
5. Okay. So it's probably not going to be the three of you then. It's actually probably Cadfile. He has a 12.
Oh, yeah.
Mark, why don't you do the honors? Why don't you roll me a d20 versus 12?
All right, let's go.
That way we can blame it on House Idmiston if they fail.
A 2.
Hey!
Success.
There you go.
Honestly, we would have succeeded.
Exactly. While this is being described, I'm going to be back in a moment.
Okay. All right. So you guys end up making your way into the forest. You end up in Dunstable, and then up further north into a place called Bedford. We'll continue on from there, and I'm gonna get someone else to roll a d20. Let's do Thomas this time. Then we'll do Liam last. This is gonna be this is gonna be versus your guide again. So it's gonna be
that
score
is
12.
17.
Okay. We are officially lost in the Forest Sauvage.
God damn it. I think the entire time here, Perin is just right next to Edrich going,
I realize you're not saying I told you so, but you're doing so very loudly.
I wouldn't dream of saying I told you so. No, not at all.
You're not saying it very obviously.
What are you talking about? I'd never do such a thing. Gloating. What's my modesty? My modesty's 15. I would never.
I don't know what that means.
If I were to say I told you so, I think I would probably do it in a manner similar to how I'm behaving right now. Yes.
Wow.
Do I need to roll as well, or do you want me to wait until after Mark gets back?
Yes, please give me a d20.
Zagooks.
Okay. Sorry, just gonna check and see what that is. Yeah. You wander for a while. What feels like a day or two of travel. You guys are setting up camp as you go. There aren't as many encounters. One lovely thing about having 150 men is people stay clear. Things and people seem to stay clear of you right now. But the nights are still uncomfortable because everyone has to sleep at night. It gets really dark in here. All right, we're gonna go to.
People need to sleep at least once every 3 days, and it's pathetic.
Liam, give me a d20 roll.
Yes, sir. I love d20 rolls.
This is against 11 again, or 12 again.
Oh.
14.
All right. I think people are about to hang Cadfile here in a minute.
No!
1 second.
Should I speak in Cadfile's defense?
Yeah.
Please don't hang my half brother. That'd be great.
Hang on, I got this. No, sorry guys. Justice says that he has to hang. We got to do it to him.
We had to do it.
It's like we have decided.
We had to do it to him. The council has decided.
You are a friend.
No, 1 sec. Okay. Okay, so I will get a roll again from Mark.
All right, d20. 6.
Hey.
All right. Road.
Admittedly, had we gone via Essex, we might have been out of here by now. But alternatively, we might have been murdered.
Good news, you found a solid path that you're certain what way to travel on. And you realize that because you've been on this path before. About 4 days ago. But now you know where north is. Thomas, give me a d20.
Cadfael, I believe in you. Just steer us right.
Hmm.
You bastard.
He is, in
Okay.
fact, a bastard.
And Liam, D20.
Oh dear. That's a 1. Tell
Okay.
me that's a critical.
No, but it is a success. So you're making
Oh,
it
thank
sound
God.
bad. All right, and we're back to Mark with a D20.
God fucking damn it.
Don't worry, these successes are helpful. Okay. Ooh, interesting. Okay, we're gonna see where that goes. We're gonna cut back to Thomas. You continue to travel. It's probably gonna be a couple weeks here, guys. Okay. Well, that
This is gonna be like number of people picked off at the back.
okay. All right, and then lastly, Liam, give me a D20.
I want you to crit. You,
No.
okay.
You need a 12.
Oh,
to get a
you did
crit.
as good as us. Yeah.
Well,
All right. Well, that determines it. I wasn't expecting this. All right.
oh God.
Awareness test from the three of you.
No, we're
Cadfael.
time traveling. Fuck.
No.
Cadfael, why did you not? Oh, success on
Success.
awareness. Cadfael, why did you not spend a passion?
After days of traveling, kind of lost in the forest, but certain that you're heading north still. You find what looks like a river, and you decide to follow it along. And then you realize it's a bit more of a stream. You see a clearing ahead and a very gorgeous castle. One made entirely of stone.
Well,
is this a castle we've seen before or heard about?
Heard about? Maybe. You guys can test folklore, probably.
oh hell yeah. I'm so good at that, you guys.
Crit! I've heard just
Hey,
as well.
nice.
Woo!
Florence.
That is 3 whole glory for you, my friend.
Yeah.
Got it. I love how Cadfile's entire story has just been, you suck.
You suck.
There's more to him than that.
There's a lot
Don't
of
be
depth,
so mean to
but any
him.
trial he's had to face has gone tits up.
So
That's
bad.
bad, like.
Yeah. So you are all of a sudden Florence out of nowhere, barely paying attention to you. He's like, oh, I wonder if this is Castle Sauvage. And everyone's like, what?
You know, Castle Sauvage.
And people are like,
That
there's a
would mean
Castle
we've
Sauvage?
been-
Wait. There's a Castle Sauvage?
Well, there's stories of a Castle Sauvage.
Oh no.
Well,
That's
let's see if they have
not-
directions. Florence.
I
What?
think
Oh.
perhaps that might not be
Are you
the
gonna stop,
most
Florence?
fantastic idea.
He's gone. So do you remember, Edrich, when I said that Merlin and I were out here and he was kind of on the run from something?
Yes.
He didn't explicitly mention, but he did strongly imply that whoever it was kind of was the ruler / king of the Forest Sauvage. And I haven't known many kings in my day, but I do know they are quite fond of castles.
I do also know that if this is the Forest Sauvage and the Castle Sauvage, we have gone in entirely the wrong direction. And if we were to make it to the place of the wedding on time, we should be moving in the opposite direction we have apparently been moving. I do not believe there is anything in the Castle Sauvage for us. But Florence is already moving, so we gotta...
Well, just be wary. I think there might be rather dangerous magic afoot.
Yep.
Mm.
Yes, I think perhaps you are correct about that. Perhaps it would be best if we were to turn around.
Well, directions might actually be valuable if we are given them. My tummy hurt.
We can find food, rations, and directions elsewhere, perhaps, but it seems people are moving. Florence, hold a moment.
We're gonna find directions.
I'm just gonna ask directions. It'll be fine.
All right. So
Cat
Florence
file,
is.
we don't need to ask directions. I know exactly where we are.
Where we are is somewhere we don't need to be.
I can check on my phone. Do you have a good connection here? A what? How's your Wi-Fi? No signal. Okay.
I think
Um,
if Cadful checks his phone, he explodes. I think
Oh!
that's what we established.
Oh!
Yeah.
Almost got one bar.
yeah.
Nope, lost it.
You have to go atop the hill, but we don't want to go atop the hill because there are bones there.
I had 1 bar an hour ago. Now I'm not sure where we're going though. Okay. Okay. So Florence, as you ride into towards the courtyard, you can see a knight. He's on a horse and he seems to be playing a game with 2 young kids, like boys, toddlers really. And he kind of slows, and as he sees you and then sees the retinue past you are all kind of at a distance, uncertain what to do, he rides forward cautiously.
Hail, Sir Knight.
Hail.
My name is Sir Florence of Idmiston, and Baron of Axe. You see me and my compatriots, as he points to the large retinue, have been trying to make our way north, but we seem to have gotten lost on our way there. We were wondering if you might be able to help us with some directions.
Okay. The boys run up to you like he doesn't recognize, and he's like, crap. And then they're like, one of them's like, hi, I'm Balin. And the other one's like, I'm Balan. And they're both just looking at you.
Florence would smile and go,
Yeah.
Greetings there, young ones. Fine names you have.
It kind of rides forward in a bit of a protective stance for the kids and just says, we'll find the road that way. And he points kind of outside of the castle proper, but not in the opposite direction of what you're traveling. It is, in fact, so if he's saying that's north, you guys have been traveling west through the forest.
I see. Well, I thank you for your assistance, Sir.
Sir Gallant.
A pleasure, Sir Gallant.
Have you seen my friend Goomfus?
Yeah, he prepares to ride away, but then stops for a moment, then kind of looks around and goes, This is a fine castle you have here. I had not known for there to be many, within the Forest Sauvage.
It is the King Sauvage's castle. I merely live here.
It seems the story I've heard of are true. Fascinating. Well, do send my well wishes to the king. I suppose we shall be making our leave. A pleasure.
I will be sure that the king hears your name, Sir Florence.
Wonderful.
All right.
That Florence rides out and goes, "That away, gentlemen."
Very well done. Yes, let us make haste.
All right.
Quickly.
Fortunately, it's good that everything was handled without incident, and indeed is nothing to concern ourselves with.
Indeed. Just a castle of the King of the Sauvage.
And it's best not to look into that.
Okay. Good news. I think we left off with Florence getting to roll again, or Mark getting to roll again. Sorry, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
So
Liam just finished his roll.
You get to roll a d20 again. This time it's against a 17 because you are on a road, an actual road.
All right.
Yeah.
Fuck me.
Oh
Oh.
my god.
Okay. 1 sec. All right. Thomas, give me a d20.
$13.
Yeah, let's see if anything fun's happening here.
We're gonna come back and that sword's gonna be gone.
It's only been about 8 days so far. Not so bad.
Hey, Bob, if you're excited for Boy King era, good news for you. We're
Yeah.
approaching it
Yeah, we're almost there.
pretty rapidly here.
Yeah.
Just like I imagine stories in 40k of people coming out of the warp like 2,000 years after they traveled, like full contingents of armies ready to fight wars that have already been lost, but it's like 150 guys going to a wedding.
You hear the sounds of beasts, wild cats. It sounds like nearby, and though you hear the sounds of their snarling, you do not see them. Seems that the size at which your retinue is enough to keep them from bothering, but it's enough to unnerve some of the knights. Most people this far in and this long in, they're just tired of this place. And they really want to get out. With that, we'll go to Thomas with a d20 roll.
I have advantage on this because Rebecca has been so kind as to
Nice.
redeem an advantage.
All right.
That is a 5. That is a 19.
We'll take
I'll be taking the 5.
All right. We advance. And I will tell you that we are very close
Thank you
to
so much.
out of the Forest Sauvage if we don't have this go in a bad direction. So, Cadfile finds another path. This isn't easy, by the way. This is like a nightmare to navigate.
No, full on.
Yeah.
Like Cadfile's doing the Lord's work, and he's better at it than most, but still.
And then lastly, we're gonna go to Perin with a d20.
Don't get a 20.
Or Liam with a 20.
Oh, well, I'll do my best.
Hey.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey.
Could have been worse.
Okay. You guys find your way out of the forest, and for the first time, you can see. You can see a couple of sights ahead. You can see a place that you've spent time. All of you have spent time at Linden Pool. You see its walls way off in the distance. So the group kind of comes to a slow at this point.
Ah, by forest and stone, it's good to see actual sky again.
Cadfile dismounts and just starts to lay in the grass.
You did good, lad.
Edrich will lean down and offer him some of his water skin.
He takes it. He'll take a swig from it, but he's not gonna. Yeah. Not gonna drink all your water.
Linden Pool is not where we want to be, though.
Also,
Is it?
you call him lad, but I'm pretty sure he's the same age as us.
It's a bit younger.
He
Isn't
He's
he?
a little
yeah,
bit younger.
He was definitely lad to our other ones, but yeah, he's fully in his 30s. I probably wouldn't have said that.
He doesn't know who I am. I'm just some guy.
It's like, it's like when older brother calls their younger brother kid, even when their younger brother's like 50 years old, right? I think it's
Yeah, yeah.
But yes, you're correct in that Lindenpool is not where we need to be, but recognizable roads are ahead of us now. I would have preferred a Saxon attack.
As would I. Oh well, it is what it is.
There is suggestion coming from the crew, from the gathering, because there are people in the crew now more familiar with this area than they were the south area. That Lindenpool could be bypassed through trails and then into Rostock. The trick would be taking smaller trails through not the Forest Sauvage, but the Rostock Forest to make your way up north. This would also bypass Ibericum.
Is there a particular reason why they want to bypass it beyond the perhaps return of Duke Corneus?
They're concerned with the Saxons in the north. Though they also mention... So they're more concerned with... okay. The Northmen are concerned with Duke Corneus. The Brassius and Cawdor are concerned with the reputation of the Centurion King. And the proximity, there's kind of some suggestions from some of the knights, like Cadfael probably even mentions, like, I believe it wasn't this the road that was taken when, we've had one ambush and then another, have we not, on this road? Once with Roderick and once with the king.
Fair. If everyone is in agreement, then perhaps we can take the smaller trails, moving as a quiet contingent. If we are to face anyone, it will be bandits and it will be Saxons, either which will be turned away. And should we be met with a patrol, we will not be obliged to follow back to a castle, for we are merely making our way through.
I'd say that serves us enough.
So long as we avoid the Forest Sauvage.
Okay, guys. I'll get a d20 roll from Liam this time. This is against 18, because you've got a different...
I believe in you.
Got a different...
That's a critical!
Hey!
Okay, there
That
we go.
is a critical. Cadfael gets 18 glory.
Unfortunately, it's not
Cadfael
Cadfael.
gets 12 glory.
No, it's not Cadfael. That's why it was against an
It's
18.
the Saxons!
No,
Got you.
it's
The
one
Saxons
of the...
got a critical on us.
It's one of the men from the north that is navigating from this point forward.
He doesn't get any glory. Fuck him.
Well,
You know-
hey, now that he's gotten 18 glory, do we learn his name?
Sure, it can be Bad Gamagus. Sure, let's make it Bad Gamagus.
All right, Bad Gamagus is okay, Damagus. I think he can have 18 glory.
Okay.
Magmagus is our Magmagus.
Indeed.
Huh?
I don't even know. Okay, so you
A
guys
badge magus.
will ride through the north. You pass through a number of places, bypassing Ibericum, up through Malahut, and that takes us on into Cardul. And the next stop will be Gore.
I think this is the furthest north that Edrich has been.
Yeah, we never got past Hadrian's Wall.
This is your first time seeing Hadrian's Wall, I believe, as a group. Anyone, because we didn't do it before, seeing Hadrian's Wall it's a monument, something that brings both the legacy of Rome to Britain, as well as just a history that isn't seen most places. we're gonna give everyone 50 glory just for seeing the wall.
Hell yeah.
Tear down the wall.
Mr.
Okay.
Gorbachev.
All right, so into Gore we go, and
Gross, who left all these intestines and spleens here?
I think, guys, as we make it to Gore, I don't want to rush, and I know Liam mentioned he was tired earlier. We have an option. We can do the wedding feast, like the wedding and the feast, or we can pause it right here, maybe with a little bit of a talk between the three of you if you want to wrap it up. How would you guys like to do this?
I could go for longer. But also if everybody else is feeling like they're ready to call it an evening, I could call it an evening as well.
It's up to the people for whom it is getting closer to midnight for, because it's 3:30 here. I'm good for a feast, but if people want to sleep, and Bob, if you want more time to prepare for things, and if Liam wants to go bedtime, if the
What-
missile is EP.
What what feels most groovy to you, Bob? Because I could go either way.
I'm conscious of, I mean, we're at 2 hour mark, but we also started really late. And I also don't want to rush it. I don't, I'm conscious of the momentum. I think we made some pretty good progress.
Yeah. Let's give it the evening then.
Yeah, we'll give it the evening. Yeah. So we'll just kind of zoom in for a closure on this the next 10 minutes. Maybe we'll just give you guys it's not often we have these three together. Let's maybe spend the time having a conversation amongst you three as you start to settle into your new quarters, temporary quarters, anyways.
If there is one thing that I don't believe I have missed about traveling with all of us together, it has been the aspect of traveling, specifically moving for a long time over a long period of distance and getting not very far. But I'm glad we have passed that chapter.
That reminds me. The two of you should probably be careful as long as we're sharing relative quarters. When I sleep, sometimes my spare hand gets a little choky, if you know what I mean.
I have literally no baseline of if that is a lie or not, so I'm going to give it the due caution that it deserves.
He cracks a smile, indicating that is bullshit.
I find it oddly heartwarming in a way. All of us have come so far from such similar yet varied beginnings to such wildly disparate ends. I think it's a testament to... he raises his eyebrows, nodding his head at Florence. God's plan, the story being told.
I would suppose so.
I recognize that this does, in a way, feel like old times, but I do need to reiterate that the Perin that you knew is not... It doesn't exist anymore. This is reminiscent of old times, but it's not the same. And the thing that you see in me is not a continuation of that. Does that make sense?
No, you seem pretty much the same. Unable to enjoy a moment when it's good.
You do have the eye thing, and of course the hand is back. But I think I do understand what you mean. After all, I'm a very different Edrich to the one you first met. Hell, sometimes I think I'm a different Edrich to the one you saw last.
And yet, you still react to most circumstances around the same.
I do my best.
How's the martial possession been holding up? And Florence, your situation in Cornwall. Have you been the two of you been holding together all right?
He will gesture towards Florence.
Yeah, well, I suppose so. And it shrugs at that. We've both been walking very different paths. Just what it comes down to. I have no desire to see my home put to the sword. But so far, Idris has been a decent king.
Do you have a plan?
You've known me long enough to know the answer to that question.
He doesn't seem to find that as funny as the two of you do. And he looks over to Edrich and he goes, and the Salisbury, it's holding.
It holds. We have good knights, though admittedly we have lost some resources of late. That said, we have the ability to get more, and surrounded by enemies as we are, the possibility of a target-rich environment grows more and more every day. We have many enemies, but that in itself is a detriment. A united front, that is one that people can be rallied behind very easily. But when we are surrounded on all sides, that is when fear overtakes fury. When caught. Sorry, you go.
Sooner rather than later, it's going to turn to conquest, one way
Indeed.
or the other.
Between Cornwall and the Saxons of their various flavors and colors, I believe perhaps the only hope will be for all of them to spontaneously die, or for Ulfius in some fashion to reach towards the position of High King with or without his Saxon assistance.
That wasn't what I meant.
For me personally, it is a duty, and through the duty, I do glory to myself and to my house, to my family and to the legacy that leaves behind. I have not had the time, perhaps, to, say, spend it with my wife or my children as such. But that will change, I think, once matters ease. And the money
When will
doesn't
that
hurt either.
happen? When will that happen? Matters ease.
When our enemies lie dead, or peace is achieved.
Neither of those things will ever happen, Edrich.
Then I will work until that time.
That's unacceptable. Take it from someone who can't see his family, who understands the burden that you bear, but is deeply jealous of the choice that you still have to make. Don't squander that time you have. There's always going to be another challenge, Edrich, but believe me, your family isn't always going to be there.
Roll me an intrigue check, Perin.
Oh dear. Give me your best shot.
Okay.
Look,
So
who do you think who do you think you're talking to? You think I'd
No.
go out like a fucking chump? How dare you?
You look me in the fucking eyes. I'm going to roll one other thing, and this isn't going to change anything. It's just something that you're probably going to notice. There is a moment, only a moment, a flicker, a flash, of a profound, ugly rage. Just for a moment, just for a second, but it's there and you see it. But what comes out is not a yell or a shout or any kind of angry motion, he says. Perhaps you are right. Indeed, family is among the most important things in my life and, I believe, for people. There are many things that I believe. Good and evil are, admittedly, things that can fluctuate. But family is forever. I would ask that you not speak on matters of family, for you have abandoned yours.
You know why I have to stay away from them right now. You know where I was and how I survived. It is not something that is going to be forgotten by a great many, and my survival puts them at risk. You
I
know
do.
this.
And for what it is worth, I do apologize. I have been more angry of late. And I do not mean to take it out on those who are trusted friends, and especially not when we are reunited, different though we might be. It's just a sore topic for me. And I understand that it is one that pains you as well.
Oh, you two both do love to spoil the mood, don't you?
You are correct. Let us perhaps break out some of the wine that we took for us with our travels. I can personally ensure that none of it has been poisoned.
At which point, Florence would pull out his cane and just kind of hold it in between his legs as he kind of looks out to them both and goes, I hear both of you speak as if we're all already dead. As if our journey has come to an end. We're old men, yes. We're not dead men. We've
I
known dead men. You seem
A
so
great
sure
many.
of it. Yet I see you in the flesh. Yet I hear your voice. Does that make me mad?
You have a sense? My heart stopped, Florence. I was dead.
And does your heart stop now? Do you not bleed if cut? Do you not bruise if broken? If I remember correct, those are distinct signs of life. Then again, I was never one for the healing arts. But I
guess
do
one
know a
doesn't need
live
to
man
be
when
a
I see
surgeon.
them. Indeed. But I do know a living man when I've seen one. For I've seen
Perhaps.
plenty of dead ones.
Perhaps. Either way, I don't mean to be a spoil sport. I miss home. Bronwyn, she's all right. And the children, they're doing well?
They are. There were some political complications involving custody of the children and Virgil's guardianship therein, but matters are handled and all is peaceful, if not amicable.
Is she and Virgil not getting along?
God, no.
But he's looking after them, making sure they're safe?
As best he can. They understand that they are working together, and indeed that Virgil is guardian until they come of age and inherit the land. Bronwyn felt differently, briefly, but matters are being sorted.
That doesn't inspire me with the most confidence.
It's not the most confiding of events. She took the children and brought them elsewhere. But again, this was many years ago. And though it still carries a scar, and I'm sure that Virgil holds a grudge, matters are not fraught with tension.
They're reunited then.
I think so, but it has been a while since Thomas has played.
No, they are not.
No.
Oh,
Nope.
they are not. Not as such.
Oh. Well, that... Would you, without giving away that the words come from me, would you talk to her? Tell her that although... Oh, goodness. That although Virgil is complicated, that he would never hurt her or the children. That
Of course, my
it's
friend.
best if they stay together.
I understand. This is something that I can do. I will speak as best I can. I do not know that Bronwyn has the highest opinion of me, or to be more accurate, my wife. But I'm certain that I can speak and that my words will be heard, one way or the other.
The fact that she attended your wedding at all speaks for her great respect for you, Edrich. She can't get past those things, but don't forget that, at least.
I understand. And it does mean a great deal.
I think...
Glad I fumbled that arbitrary.
Yeah, me too. I think Perin kind of looks over to the wine and he goes, gosh, last time we were up north, what was the name of that pub with the hole in the ceiling?
I think it had 7 different ones, all because of variations of some kind of spelling that barely anyone could read.
That's right. Oh, man. Do you remember we got... That was the one where we got all so heavily smashed we wandered out into that forest by the tree, right? The magic tree, the Merlin's birthplace.
Kegard, and I'm pretty sure that was south, right?
It's in the
No.
That
south.
was like way to the south.
Not of us. Or not of Salisbury, right? It's a pub crawl up north,
It
wasn't
was
it?
Gales. It was west.
Yeah, it was
West. Yeah,
west.
west.
Well, close enough.
Northwest.
Close
but,
enough.
I suppose with the path we've been taking, it might as well be.
True enough. Oh,
Gosh,
that
I had
file.
God, I had such a headache after that.
So did I. There was a magic bird that attacked me.
You keep claiming a magical bird. I just remember seeing you getting your ass handed to you by a raven. That
I
was
looked
truly
in-
embarrassing.
I looked into the branches of the tree and I saw things that no mortal eye should see. The bird looked at me and then it struck me. Either it was an incredibly vicious bird that would attack a man in full plate and unbalance him, or, no, not full plate, in full chain and unbalance him, or it was magical. And it
Or
was muddy.
perhaps you had not completely purged yourself of all the drink from that night.
Yes, perhaps.
I think that was the last time that the three of us were all really together. I mean, we were separated after the battle at St. Albans, of course. I remember seeing Merlin in a dream that day. I think that was the time that I knew that things were going to change so drastically.
And drastic it did. And everything did. The end of an era.
We can hope one day that this era ends and a new one begins. But we'll see if we'll get there.
I
It
find
will.
myself contemplating kings and pasts, decisions and actions.
Someday.
So everything,
Oh, sorry, can finish.
everything Uther was. In my age, I find myself understanding him more and more. His faults,
I should hope not. But I will say this. This era will pass. And it'll pass with the boy Arthur. I'm certain of that. Whether or not we ever get to see that day or not, that remains to be seen, but I do know one thing for certain. Salisbury, Logres, it might need something more than heroes. What we were once, the beacons that I had hoped that we would become. It might need villains at times. And I think there are going to be some lines that if any of us want to survive and prepare this place for its once and future king. I guess not once, but for its future king.
Yeah, exactly.
For its future
He
king.
hasn't been king yet.
We'll see.
Yeah.
For its future king, we may have to cross some lines that we won't necessarily feel very proud of.
Florence
I think
frowns at that.
perhaps that might have already occurred for a lot of us.
And I think perhaps not everything people believe to be necessary truly is.
Perhaps. Or maybe.
I've heard many.
Or maybe. Maybe good kings get to exist because there's bad men doing their work for them. Somewhere just outside of you. Yeah. Forgive me, I'm spoiling the mood again, aren't I?
No, I just want to follow that thread. So, the presence of goodness is only able to exist by the presence of the evil working, as if, like, a proof of the wickedness, a justification as to why it exists. I
What?
like it. That's an interesting philosophy.
Well,
Interesting indeed.
I think maybe I've seen true evil twice in my life. I've looked it right in the eye and I've had it beg me for forgiveness, and I've had it take my life and the lives of so many in such a gruesome manner. That's what real evil looks like. But I wonder if many of the things that we call evil are just differing shades of gray. Something that's misunderstood.
No, I'm pretty sure that evil is evil, but I can understand the moral relativism that is involved there, and it can look very different from person to person.
I find when I look upon evil, I see what could have been. I see what could be. Perhaps it is the difference in our upbringing, in our faiths. I have always
Or-
believed in a certain amount of redemption.
Well, by that way of thinking, I'd say we've all long since gone evil. But tonight, at least, I'm willing to drink towards that.
That Florence would put down his cup and go, "Well, I'm getting quite tired, so I think I might head off to sleep." With that, he uses his cane to shakily pull himself to his feet.
How much of it is Florence, like, really playing it up? You know? Like,
It's pretty obvious. It's pretty obvious that he's putting on his facade.
Where
Goes,
once
"Oh,
before it was the
so
Golden Knight, now
old."
it's I'm old and I'm a diplomat. I
He's
think-
still old though. He's
He is
also
still
old.
though.
Good night,
Edrich
Florence.
looks to Florence and goes, "Sleep well, and should you need anything, do let us know."
Very well.
And
Good night, you
Perin,
two.
I should like to hear more, perhaps, of what you think of evil and why we all are. I like philosophical talks.
I have always thought you a man who favored more practicalities.
Perhaps I've changed of late. But maybe you are right. Perhaps it is rest that we both require.
Perhaps. Though, if you were to consider something while you slumber this evening, you mentioned Salisbury's been having issues with supplies. Salisbury lashing out at any of its neighbors could be easily traced and problematic. But say there was a force unaffiliated with Salisbury that could perhaps do a few evils behind the curtain to help strengthen its position.
It would entirely depend on who was attacked. But otherwise, I feel that those evils would not be an evil at all. For indeed, a knight is a killer, and a knight defends the lands of their liege and the lands of their country.
Maybe it was that way sometime. Still, a knight is what a knight is, but a corpse can be anything. Good night, Edrich.
Good night.
All right, guys, and I think that's a great place to wrap up. I'm glad we did that. It was fun. I
Hell
liked the
yeah.
last bit, getting those characters together. All right, let's do a quick outros, then we can call our night. We'll start with you, Thomas.
That's me. I have been Thomas. I've been playing Sir Edrich of House Winterbourne Stoke, who is also the Marshal of Salisbury. And if he doesn't go through the forest again, he'll be very, very happy.
It's just great how it's set up to basically divides the island in a really
Yeah.
inconvenient way. All right, Mark.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see you there. I was just looking at our handy dandy Discord. By the way, did you know we have a Discord? Come check us out. Lots of fun stuff on there, such as notifications on whenever we go live, as well as new projects we're doing, as well as shit posting and memes. So come join in the fun. As well, I have a Mark, aka the Cat's Meow, playing Sir Florence, the good knight, if you will.
We're all evil now, baby.
Lasts.
We're all
No,
evil
we're
now.
not. No, we're not. Two of us are evil.
Yeah. Well, you know what they say: greater, lesser evil is evil.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have
Vampire.
new projects coming up, so please do pay attention. I have a series called Isle of the Damned, a Vampire the Dark Ages campaign, that will be having episodes released soon for our prologue. So do
So
pay
excited.
attention. If you're watching this in the future, if you go to the Discord, there's sure to be many links there to it. Otherwise, it's the Cat's Meow Show on YouTube and Twitch and other places. But that's been me.
Awesome. We'll go to Liam next.
Hi, everybody. I'm Liam. I have been Sir Perin of Durnford today, the Black Dog. It's been so fun to see a long-form character arc like this over 20 years of game time. That is nuts and so fun to watch. I am very excited for what's moving on this too. See you guys next week. Yeah, we're back next week.
Indeed, yeah, we are.
Super exciting.
We do have to get with AP, but we'll talk about that offline. And also, I do have
Yes.
one weekend I'll be away, just one in May. So I'll let you know when that is too.
Exciting.
It's going to be May.
It's gonna be May. Yeah, I think it's mid or late May.
It's
I
not
just gotta
May.
look it up.
It's Maybelline.
I'll be in Vancouver for a convention, so I'll be away.
Hell yes.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I'm Bob. We play Salisbury Anarchy on Sundays, and then we have sibling games in Summerland on Tuesdays and Escavalon on Fridays. Feel free to chime in. We're getting back into the swing of things with this game, and I think we're gonna have a grand old time in the north with the happy friends of Logres. This should go really well and be an awesome feast.
Yeah.
Absolutely nothing will go wrong with anyone. So, yeah. Join.
Nothing ever goes wrong here.
More importantly, we have this trio back together for another episode, so that'll be exciting.
All we need to do is kill a bunch of Saxons together, and we'll be back together like.
Yes, it's true. All right, thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you next time. Take care.
Farewell.
Farewell.
Hey.